The night is supposed to be the beginning of a new life. Soft lights, scattered rose petals, the faint scent of lavender drifting across the room. Ethan decorated himself. He is a man who rarely indulges in childish impulses, but tonight he wants to do something playful, something sweet. So he hides on the bed, biting back a shy laugh, imagining Ava's surprised smile when he jumps out. For a moment, he feels like a younger version of himself, untouched by the emotional neglect that shaped him. The mattress above dips slightly as he settles in, heart beating with a mix of nervousness and excitement. The atmosphere carries that delicate blend of love and hope, the kind Ethan believed his arranged marriage had blossomed into. He doesn't know that this innocent plan, meant to create a memory, is about to become the moment that destroys everything he thought he understood about love. The moment the door clicks open, Ethan prepares himself, muscles tightening with anticipation. But the footsteps are wrong. Too heavy. Too many. His smile fades as Ava walks in, not alone but with Jordan Hale, Ethan's cousin and the one person he trusted like a brother. Their whispers leak into the silence, sharp and cruel despite their softness. Ethan's breath turns cold as their bodies move closer, their shadows stretching across the floor like a dark prophecy. From under the bed, he watches the betrayal unfold in slow motion, disbelief turning into a suffocating ache. The room, once glowing with hope, now feels like a trap, every sound amplified, every movement a knife twisting deeper. Ethan cannot speak, cannot reveal himself. He lies frozen beneath the bed, forced to witness the two people he loved the most shatter him without even knowing he's inches away. The world narrows to breath and pain as Ava and Jordan move above him, the mattress shifting with every stolen touch. Ethan's heart beats so violently he fears they'll hear it. When a hand, trembling, desperate, clamps over his own mouth to silence the sob rising his throat, he realizes it's his. Tears gather, but he doesn't dare let them fall. The betrayal is not loud. It is quiet, methodical, devastating. Every whisper exchange between them becomes a permanent scar. He curls inward, shrinking into the darkness beneath the bed, as if disappearing could stop the breaking. But the room refuses to let him escape. The intimacy he witnesses becomes a weight that crushes his chest, his hope, his sense of worth. By the time the scene ends, Ethan is no longer the man who entered this room. He is the first evidence of a love that never existed. That Ethan's story begins long before Ava or the wedding. It begins in a small, quiet home where survival meant loyalty and love was measured in sacrifices. Raised by a single mother who worked double shifts to keep the lights on, Ethan grew up believing that the only way to earn affection was to never disappoint, never burden, never leave. His mother's mantra, "Loyalty is love, Ethan," shaped him into a man who would rather break silently than risk hurting someone else. Meanwhile, Jordan, his charismatic cousin, was everything Ethan wasn't. Loud, charming, magnetic. Family gatherings always orbit around Jordan's jokes, his confidence, his effortless popularity. Ethan learned to shrink, to observe, to survive in the background. That quiet hurt became part of him, forming a heart that clung too tightly and trusted too deeply. This emotional blueprint makes his eventual betrayal not just painful, but destiny-shattering. Ava's life was built on instability, debt collectors at the door, parents fighting about money, dreams crushed before they could breathe. When she met Ethan, he felt like safety in human form, gentle, predictable, someone who wouldn't abandon her the way her own family did. She convinced herself that stability was enough, that comfort could replace passion. But deep inside, a part of her still craved excitement, a magnetic pull she felt whenever Jordan walked into the room. Where Ethan was quiet, Jordan was fire. Where Ethan hesitated, Jordan made her feel seen. The attraction was something she tried to bury, telling herself it was just admiration, just harmless energy. But it created cracks in her relationship long before the wedding. To her, Ethan became the safe choice, while Jordan remained the unresolved desire she never acknowledged aloud, even as it silently grew stronger between them. The 2-year relationship seemed calm on the surface. Dinner dates, polite conversations, predictable routines. But beneath it simmered a tension Ethan didn't have the courage to name. Jordan was always around, always teasing Ava, always finding excuses to help her with errands or drive her home. Ethan noticed the late-night messages, the smirks exchanged during gatherings, the the way Ava defended Jordan a little too quickly. His gut twisted more times than he could count, but he buried every instinct beneath loyalty and fear of abandonment. When Ava suddenly insisted on rushing the wedding, Ethan interpreted it as love, not urgency. Jordan's unusually quiet demeanor during his speech should have been a warning, yet Ethan swallowed the unease. The dread he felt that day wasn't random. It was a final vibration of a truth he had ignored for far too long. Everything was already collapsing. He just hadn't seen it yet. When Ava steps out to freshen up, Ethan feels a split second of relief, thinking the nightmare is finally over, but it's only beginning. The room grows heavier as Jordan stays behind, pacing slowly, scanning the shadows with the predator's calm. Ethan tries to control his shaking breath, but terror has its own sound. Jordan kneels suddenly, lifts the bedsheet, and their eyes lock in a horrifying moment of exposure. Ethan freezes like a hunted animal. Jordan doesn't look shocked. He looks satisfied. His smirk widens, dripping with cruelty and victory. Leaning closer, Jordan whispers words designed to break a man from the inside. "You were never meant for her. You're the safety net. Ethan, I'm the desire." Every syllable cuts deeper than any physical wound. Jordan rises unbothered, leaving Ethan trapped in a bed not just physically, but emotionally dismantled, stripped of dignity, stripped of illusions. The moment Jordan exits, Ethan crawls out from under bed like a man escaping a grave. His legs barely respond, trembling beneath him as his breath stumbles in broken gasps. The room stinks of betrayal, the mattress above still warm with the weight of their sin. He staggers toward the hallway, vision blurring, chest tightening until the world tilts and spins. The moment he crosses the doorway, Ethan collapses to his knees, vomiting violently onto the polished floor. His body rejects everything, the humiliation, the heartbreak, the truth. He presses his forehead to the cold tiles, shaking so hard he feels like he's coming apart piece by piece. This isn't just emotional pain, it's physical collapse. He realizes with devastating clarity that the wedding, the vows, the promises, all of it was a beautifully wrapped trap. He has married into a lie, been played by blood and love alike. When Ethan finally lifts his head, sweat cold on his forehead and tears drying on his cheeks, something inside him shifts, not from heartbreak, but from transformation. Rage and clarity weave together in a way he has never felt before. He sees the truth with brutal precision. Ava never loved him. She loved the stability he provided. Jordan never respected him. He envied what Ethan had. The entire marriage was a performance, a setup built on manipulation and convenience. But instead of confronting them blindly, Ethan chooses silence, strategic, poisonous silence. A plan begins forming in the ruins of his heart. If they believe he is weak, he will use that illusion. If they think he's broken, he will weaponize it. Tonight is no longer the night he lost everything. It becomes the night he starts collecting evidence, preparing to destroy them both at the exact moment it will hurt most. Ethan returns to daily life like a ghost wearing his own skin. Every morning, he wakes beside Ava's carefully curated smile, a smile that doesn't reach her eyes anymore. By day, she behaves like the perfect newlywed, cooking breakfast, asking about his work, touching his shoulder as if affection still belongs between them. But at night, her warmth evaporates. She sleeps early, turns her phone face down, and withdraws into cold silence that feels heavier than any argument. Ethan sees her guilt in the way her hands tremble when she thinks he isn't watching, and how she jumps at every unexpected sound, in the long pauses before she answers simple questions. She is unraveling, slowly dissolving under the weight of secrets she can't control. Yet Ethan keeps his face blank, gentle, unchanged, the loyal husband. Inside, however, he is sharpening every moment into a weapon she cannot see coming. Jordan, drunk on arrogance and the thrill of getting away with betrayal, begins invading Ethan's professional world. He shows up at Ethan's office unannounced, placing a hand on his shoulder as though he owns him. "Let me mentor you," he says, masking poison with charm. Every conversation drips with subtle insults, comments about Ethan's lack of confidence, jokes about him being too soft, backhanded compliments designed to make him feel small. He praises Ava excessively, planting seeds of humiliation right in Ethan's presence. But Jordan makes one fatal mistake. He believes Ethan is still the same quiet, harmless man he once overshadowed. He doesn't notice the new coldness in Ethan's gaze, the precision with which Ethan absorbs every word, every gesture. Jordan is feeding his own downfall without realizing it, mistaking Ethan's silence for weakness when in truth, it is a silence of a storm preparing to strike, that Ethan's transformation is invisible to those who underestimate him. The moment he returns home each day, he slips into calculated mode, organizing files, recording timestamps, discreetly installing legal surveillance cameras in shared living spaces, capturing the truth piece by devastating piece. He screens Ava's messages, logs her late-night calls, photographs receipts she tries to hide. Meanwhile, he constructs a 4-layer retaliation plan, a divorce strategy airtight with evidence, a financial strike to protect everything she once sought to gain, a reputation exposure map showing exactly where and when the truth will detonate, and a legal trap that closes the moment they make one mistake too many. Ava and Jordan grow sloppier, careless in their desire and arrogance. Their affair becomes reckless, almost taunting fate. But Ethan walks among them like ice, calm, polite, emotionally distant. Inside, he is a furnace ready to ignite at the perfect moment. The evening begins with an atmosphere so warm it feels almost unreal. Clinking glasses, soft chatter, decorative candles flickering across a perfectly arranged dining table. Ava arrives glowing with hope, convinced that Ethan has finally returned to the version of himself she can control. Jordan, dressed in smug confidence, moves through the room like a man who believes is untouchable. Both families gather with genuine joy, grateful to see the young couple celebrating their 6-month anniversary. Ethan, however, is the calmest person in the room, an unsettling stillness wrapped inside polite smiles. When he stands and announces that he had prepared a short slideshow of memories, everyone applauds, unaware that they are seconds from witnessing their world collapse. The lights dim, the projector hums, and sweet photos begin to play. Ava's eyes soften. Jordan grins. No one suspected Ethan's silence has been sharpening into a blade. Halfway through the slideshow, the room darkens as the screen flickers, a sudden static glitch that silences conversation instantly. Then the audio begins. The soft, unmistakable whispers of Ava and Jordan from the wedding night fill the room, followed by their silhouettes moving in the dim light of the marital bedroom. Gasps explode from every corner of the table. Ava's face drains of color as if blood itself abandons her. Jordan shoots up from his chair, stuttering excuses no one can hear over the sound of their betrayal echoing through the speakers. Mothers weep. Fathers stare in disbelief. Cousins cover their mouths, unable to process the cruelty of what they're witnessing. The room transforms from a celebration into a battlefield. Chairs scrape, voices rise, and shame hangs so thick it's suffocating. In the center of this chaos stands Ethan, still, steady, untouched by the storm he orchestrated. When the footage ends, Ethan steps forward and begins to reveal everything he's gathered: printed messages, time-stamped receipts, hotel check-ins, screenshots, and recordings of Jordan laughing about how easy it was to manipulate him. Then comes a recording of Ava quietly admitting she settled for Ethan because he was safe. Every word detonates like a bomb. Ava collapses into sobs, clutching the table, unable to stand beneath the weight of her own decisions. Jordan storms out, swallowing his pride and fury as relatives glare at him like he's a stranger. Ethan packs the evidence neatly back into a folder, his expression serene, almost peaceful. This is a revenge driven by rage. It's justice crafted with precision. Without raising his voice, without shedding a tear, Ethan simply says, "I'm done." Then he walks out, leaving both families, both betrayers, and the entire broken marriage behind. His silence becomes the loudest ending. The days following the anniversary dinner feel strangely quiet, almost peaceful, as if the world itself recognizes that Ethan has already survived the worst. When he files a divorce, he does so with unshaking hands and a calm heart. The evidence he presents is clean, organized, irrefutable, the documentation of a man who refused to break in silence. Ava tries to contact him, leaving long voice notes filled with apologies, panic, bargaining. But Ethan doesn't respond. For the first time in his life, he prioritizes himself. He protects his assets, sealing financial loopholes she once hoped to use. Their families, shocked by the depth of betrayal, rally around Ethan, offering support he never expected. As the legal process unfolds, he cuts Jordan out of his life permanently. No dramatic confrontation, just a final, immovable boundary. Ethan steps forward not as a victim, but as a man reclaiming everything he lost. While Ethan rebuilds, Ava and Jordan crumble under the weight of their own choices. Ava becomes the center of hushed whispers, friends avoiding her calls, relatives questioning her judgment, co-workers distancing themselves. Her finances spiral as Ethan's legal team shuts down every attempt to claim support. Nights become her enemy. She lies awake replaying the slideshow, hearing the betrayal echo in her mind. Jordan, stripped of his golden boy charm, faces professional consequences as rumors spread. His workplace suspends impending investigation after discovering conflicts connected to Ethan's company. Family members he once dazzled now refuse to meet his eyes. Doors that once opened easily now slam shut. Both Ava and Jordan blame each other, their bond dissolving into resentment and regret. Their downfall is not loud. It is slow, humiliating, and irreversible. They are left with the wreckage of the choices they made together, and Ethan walks free. Ethan's healing is not instant, but it is intentional. He begins therapy and, for the first time, speaks his truth without minimizing his pain. He channels his anger into the gym, transforming it into strength. Every rep helps dissolve the shadows Jordan and Ava left behind. His confidence grows slowly but steadily, grounding him in a healthier sense of self. At work, he thrives, taking leadership roles, pitching bold ideas, earning respect not to being the quiet one, but the resilient one. His nights are calmer now, filled with books, music, and moments where he finally breathes without heaviness. The mirror begins to reflect a man who is sharper, stronger, and wiser. Ethan learns that trauma does not define you. How you rebuild from it does. His story becomes a reminder that some endings are not tragedies. They are rebirths. From betrayal, Ethan rises into the man he was always meant to be. 6 months later, the world feels different to Ethan. Lighter, clearer, almost unrecognizable compared to the suffocating darkness that once consumed him. When he returns to the old house for the final time, he doesn't arrive as the broken man who once hid under the bed. He arrives as someone who survived himself. The rooms are silent now, empty to laughter, emptier still of lies. Dust floats in the air like tiny memories refusing to leave. Ethan walks slowly, his footsteps echoing through a place that once held both hope and horror. But with every step, he feels the distance between who he was and who he has become. Standing at the bedroom door, his chest tightens, not with pain, but with a strange, peaceful acceptance. He knows that this room witnessed the death of his old self, and the quiet birth of his new one. Ethan enters the room and moves toward the bed. The same bed under which he once lay trembling, heartbroken, suffocating in silence while his world collapsed inches above him. Now, he kneels voluntarily, not as a victim, but as a witness to his own strength. The empty space beneath the frame is still, almost sacred, a quiet reminder of who he used to be. He places a hand on the floorboards, grounding himself in memory and closure. Then, in a soft, steady voice, he whispers, "Thank you for showing me who they really were." These words aren't for Ava or Jordan. They are for himself, for the boy inside him who survived abandonment, humiliation, and betrayal. He rises slowly, steady and calm, and with a final exhale, he closes the door behind him. This time, he does not look back, because this room no longer owns him. Later that night, in his new apartment filled with plants, books, and the quiet warmth of solitude, Ethan writes in his journal, the one that carried every bruise of his healing journey. His handwriting is steady, confident, transformed. He fills the final page with the truth he earned through fire. Some betrayals don't break you, they free you. As the page closes, it marks the end of a chapter forged in pain and reclaimed through strength. That simple action becomes a symbolic final shot, an anime-style frame capturing the soft glow of a desk lamp, the peaceful curve of a smile, the journal closing like the last scene of a long battle. Ethan no longer carries the weight of betrayal. He carries the wisdom of survival. The story doesn't fade to darkness. It fades into light, because he walks forward with nothing holding him down.